NC Pork, raising the bacon, raising the bar.
Our next guest is the second winningest head coach in the history of Pitt football. He led the Panthers to an 11-win season and the ACC title game right here in North Carolina back in 2021. Another top 25 campaign in 2022. Another bowl game last year. We get to call him now the 11th year head coach of the Panthers. Pat Narduzzi, welcome to the North Carolina Sports Network. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing outstanding. It's great to be here in North Carolina and Charlotte. Specifically to open up this 2025 season.
I couldn't believe it. There's 136, I think, FBS teams now, and there are only 11 coaches who have been in their current role, head coaches, longer than you've been the head coach at Pitt. My question to you is, how many things are on the list of how and why this program, this city, have been the right fit for you and your family for so long?
It's the City of Pittsburgh. It's the University of Pittsburgh. The leadership, it starts there. I think that, I'm a guy that's loyal. I think it comes down to loyalty, and I like getting the job done. I like finishing jobs. I don't like to start something and not finish it, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start, in 2015 at Pitt, and I'm going to finish it out here too.
You and I are a similar age. I'm mad that you look younger than I am, but I saw a super young-looking Pat Narduzzi in a really cool photo with your late father, way back in the day, Youngstown State. My question is, was it inevitable that Pat Narduzzi, because of his Youngstown State head coach dad, was a famous and successful Hall of Fame guy? Was it inevitable you were going to do what you wanted to do, or was it a more complicated journey into coaching for you as a young man?
No, grew up, watching him being a ball boy running around on the field. You kind of thought, like, I loved football. But it wasn't until I got to college and you're getting into your sophomore year, you said, I think I want to coach. And that's kind of when it started. And, I had a conversation with my dad before he died at age 51 that I think I wanted to get into coaching. He gave me some advice, and he passed away. And then I went on my trail. And, again, none of this would be possible without what he gave me. He gave me all the tools I have. I played for him for a year. He trained us as kids. We had obstacle courses in our backyard. He worked our tails off, and he gave us the work ethic. He gave me the work ethic that I have today.
Coach has been gone for many decades at this point. I've always believed as a journalist, we've seen as much change in major college sports in maybe the last 5 years than in the previous, 30 years combined. Mm-hmm. What would Dad think if you tried to describe what your world looks like today?
Well, he's watching it. He's watching it right now, and I wouldn't have to describe it. He's going, what is going on here? And he's pointing down, telling me to do this or do that, but he's guiding from above, I truly believe. And, he's shaking his head and, wondering what the heck we're doing down here. But I think we're going to start to turn the corner here soon. I think, with the House settlement, it started to turn, and hopefully it'll continue to get better every year.
This is a strange question, I know, but Pop Warner is like one of the most famous names in the history of football. He is, a godfather of football in our country. And you passed Pop Warner on the Pitt all-time wins list. I don't even know what my question is. That just seems to be a crazy thing.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. And the one thing I'll tell you, it's probably because the coaches came in and left so fast that I'm where I am.
They didn't play as many games.
They didn't play as many games. So I'm just hanging out longer than Pop Warner did. If Pop Warner wanted to have more wins, I'm sure he could have stayed there a little longer.
And I'm not taking any shine away from Pat Narduzzi. He has earned his way up the top to number 2 now on the Pitt win list. I saw a cool video where you essentially made the legendary golfer John Daly's childhood dream come true. You're like the conduit as he gets to FaceTime the legendary Pitt running back Tony Dorsett on the golf course. I mean, you're making dreams come true everywhere. How did that unfold?
We were just talking, and he loved Tony Dorsett, and so I said, let me get him on. And it's funny, Tony's got his shirt off, in the closet hanging out. What's up, Coach? So it's a great video. Now, Tony, if you're listening out there, he wants a signed Pitt jersey from you. So he's got a Dallas Cowboy one. He wants a Pitt one. I haven't had a chance to reach out to Tony yet.
John Daly's requests are never ending. You have rated our backyard for some really good players. Lyndon Cooper, your outstanding center, was not even a full-time starter at NC State. Desmond Reed, who's here with you in Charlotte, we watched at Western Carolina. You, of course, got a great coordinator from there as well, and now a new quarterback from the Catamounts. It's one thing, Desmond was so good, but at the FCS level. Lyndon was not a starter. You and your guys must be doing some evaluation right. How does that work with transfers compared to maybe 2 or 3 years of watching a high school prospect, on video or in person?
Yeah, well, we're trying to do a good job evaluating regardless of how many years they have left, whether it's 1 year. When we took a kid from Marshall this year, Justin Holmes, who I'm really excited about, helping us in the tight end room. But it doesn't matter how many years they have left or, if they're high school players going to be seniors in high school, we're going to evaluate talent. And I think that's what we've done better than anybody in the country. We might not have that big rivals, ranking of a top 20 class or top 10 recruiting class, but the Athletic came out with something the other day, I should say about a month and a half ago, said that Pitt has done the best job of evaluating and developing their players. And because of all the draft picks we've had. Since I've been at Pitt, I've had 31 guys drafted. In the last 5 years, I've had 20. So if you take 10 seasons, that means the first 5 seasons, 11, then we've had 20 since then. That tells you, I'm turning over classes. Obviously, the first 5 years, I'm trying to get a whole new, teams in there. And it's you get through your first 5 classes, you now have your team. Not that first 5 teams weren't, but, those 20 guys drafted in the last 5 years, that's crazy. And 17 of those have been high school players that we've developed, not just transfers that we brought in and all of a sudden they take off and go. So that to me it's about recruiting, evaluating, and developing your talent.
I don't know if you saw this comment. Mike Loxley of Maryland says, and this is his words, he lost his locker room last year because of who was making what in NIL, et cetera. And now you have revenue sharing, so there's a whole nother layer to that. In your role as a head coach, it's not like you've never seen imbalances in your locker room, right? Some have girlfriends, some don't. Some have rich parents, some don't. But this is a new thing to navigate. What is the best way to navigate that stuff?
Well, it's having relationships with your players and talking to them. You can't lose your locker room. You can never lose your locker room, I don't think. And you have to have that relationship with your players. You got to know what's going on. You got to know what's being said. And you got to keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is winning football games and playing football.
You have really emphasized continuing the backyard brawl, and West Virginia, of course, is on your schedule this year. You've also pounded the drum of wanting to play Penn State every single year. We talk about rivalries a lot in college football and other sports. They're watered down in some degrees because of realignment and conference expansion. Why is it important to you to have those two power programs on your schedule when you could play lesser teams?
Yeah. Again, we've got Notre Dame and West Virginia are 2 non-conference games, and we'll focus on that West Virginia game, which is our rival game. The backyard brawl is fun. Our kids look forward to it. I was talking to Donovan McMillan the other day, and he said it was the funnest game I've ever played in. And that's what it's all about, having fun and playing against, real competition. That there's a lot of hate on that field.
Real quick, E.J. Borgetti is a guy I've known for a long, long time. He's a Pitt football legend, media relations, now another part of the university. Your quick thoughts about him turning the page. It's just weird seeing you without him near you.
So if E.J.'s listening, his dad was a Pitt legend, okay? Right. Playing the game. E.J.'s a Pitt legend in the social world, but we've got a new guy working with us, Mike Annarella. E.J. was outstanding. He's not leaving us. He's still with us. He's still at Pitt. He got a promotion. He's working with the chancellor in the chancellor's office. So we're excited for EJ for his next venture in his life, getting to spend a little bit more time because it's a grind in football now. We're not, it's not 5 days a week. It's 7 days, 24/7. And he's been on call for a long time, and now he's put the phone down and put it on silence, and he's going to relax a little bit.
On behalf of all media, thank you for never mailing in an interview. You're just always fun. You're always engaged. Thanks for this latest visit on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, anything for you guys. Appreciate it. Hail to Pitt.
Thank you.
Mail in. You have to put mail in.
You know the robot guys.
I don't know the robot guys. I don't listen to
You're not wired that way.
Yeah.
No, trust me. I just